If you or someone that you know has ever gone through shingles, an extremely painful situation, this video is going to give you some fantastic tips. I've got 7 of them to help to manage that shingles naturally. Now, we know that shingles is caused by the same virus that causes chickenpox, and it is a herpes zoster virus similar to, again, cold sores, and this video is going to be helpful in those situations as well. And unfortunately, that virus can remain dormant. So if you had chickenpox as a kid, now that virus can remain dormant in your body and then sort of reactivate itself, causing shingles. The most common symptoms of shingles, of course, are a red rash, there's blisters, you could have a fever, you're very fatigued, you could have muscle aches and a headache and feel nauseous as well during the course of this virus. And if shingles has hit you before, you know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of that intense pain, and often people don't know what it is. They start to get that rash on the side of their back, along their rib cage. Super painful. But the good news is I've got 7 tips to help to clear it up very quickly, and most importantly, to prevent it from happening in the first place. Okay, my first tip for shingles is to optimize your vitamin C levels. Now, this becomes really important. Whenever your immune system is fighting something, it actually needs more vitamin C. And being a vitamin, of course, as humans that we do not create, it's something that we have to optimize our vitamin C levels. Now, I'm not talking about taking a synthetic vitamin C, which is usually ascorbic acid. That's what you're going to see on the label. And that form of vitamin C is not optimal in terms of absorption. It's made chemically. It is synthetically made. I always prefer a whole food vitamin C from natural sources. So things like acerola cherries, camu berries, great sources for a concentrated whole food vitamin C, and can be very effective against that shingles, helping to dry up. And I had a patient who we upped her dosage of that natural whole food vitamin C, was able to dry up those patches of those lesions on her back within a couple of days. Okay, so it is possible. Okay, tip number 2 for shingles is Lysine. Now, this is an important amino acid which is known to counteract the virus itself. Now, there's another amino acid that is not so great, which is L-arginine, and having the right balance. And there are certain foods that are higher in lysine and other foods are higher in arginine. Certainly focusing on the foods that are higher in lysine is going to be to your advantage. Lysine is also found in some supplements. It's also found in a good quality grass-fed collagen supplement. So that might be something to consider as well. Maybe upping your collagen intake for a little bit, making sure that it is, of course, grass-fed and it is a hydrolyzed bovine collagen. Okay, tip number 3 is to get more sunlight exposure. Now, this goes without saying for our immune system, of course, our vitamin D levels, but sunlight has a lot to do with our circadian biology, our circadian rhythms, and programming things like our microbiome in tune with nature so that we can fight natural things off in our environment, whether that's a virus, a bad bacteria, parasites. So we really have to get our microbiome, our entire system back online with nature, and sunlight is what programs through our eyes, through our skin, programs our brain, all of the clock systems in all of our organs to be in tune with nature. So that's really important, especially, you've heard me say before, getting that early morning sunlight, super important to wake up the clock mechanisms, to tell the body that it is a new day and that we're in tune with our external environment. Super important for our immunity to be able to fight off that shingles. Okay, tip number 4 is to optimize that healthy microbiome. Sometimes we do need to take some extra probiotics, of course, which are the good, healthy gut flora, which helps to outweigh those bad guys. So things like the viruses, again, the bad bacteria, we want to have more of the good guys, and finding a good, compatible probiotic for your digestive system that's human is going to be really important. Okay, tip number 5 for shingles is to include some immune supporting herbal medicines. And the mnemonic that I have is called MEGA. These are my favorite ones. So M, the first one is marshmallow, a great soothing demulcent herb, great for any irritation that's happening, really helps to calm down inflammation. Echinacea, also a natural antibiotic, really helps to fight off viruses. And G is for ginseng, American ginseng, which is a great tonifier for your immune system. And A is astragalus. Now, astragalus is known as a deep immune herb, really helps at fighting off viruses and making you feel much better, much more quickly after your body has been fighting something like a flu, a cold, or a virus, or something like shingles. Okay, tip number 6 is to relieve stress. So most of the cases that I've seen in my practice of shingles, it always came on in times of stress. stress and lack of sleep, which we're going to talk about in tip number 7. So finding some form of stress relief is going to be super important for your overall immunity, but also fighting off that shingles so much more quickly. And tip number 7, of course, you can guess, is getting a good night's sleep. So this is so important. And again, getting our circadian biology, our circadian rhythms back in sync with the light and dark cycle of the day. One of my tips here for a good night's sleep, make sure you're sleeping in a nice, cool and super dark room. Wearing night blinders over your eyes and eye mask is going to be really important to keep that light out of your eyes. And of course, turn off your devices long before bedtime. You shouldn't have any screens on before bed to optimize your good sleep and your good melatonin secretion. Now, do you know someone who suffered with shingles, maybe even yourself? How did they find relief? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious. And for more information on how to get that good night's sleep, please check out my video, How to Fix Your Sleep Guaranteed. I'll see you there.